Also, the SEC is going to be a very week-long activities here in Lagos, and that starts today. Of course, the CMC meeting will be tomorrow. That's the key meeting for this. And, of course, the discussion there will also focus on the 10-year Nigeria capital markets master plan that's been in the work for a number of years. Then that was inherited by the Muniru Gwazo's administration, and rolling it forward, what the future of the market will be. We have a few discussions around this. Let's bring in Ramosele Aziba, who is live here in the studios from Afrinvest Securities, to talk to us this morning. It's good to have you.
Thank you,
Hope you had a nice weekend.
Yes.
Did your football team lose any match?
No, we actually won. Arsenal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did.
But some folks seemed a little bit unhappy that the margin wasn't as wide as it ought to be. I didn't watch.
No, but in the end, the 3 points is the most important thing, so that's what they got, and we're happy.
You're happy?
Yeah.
At the end of this conversation, I'm going to throw you at our sports team. Cecilia and the rest of them, then you guys can go argue with that over there in the newsroom. But for that, I want to talk about money and investment market. That's my business here.
Yes,
except when I'm upset with the transfer fees. That you pay us
it's the reality of
£500,000 for a single individual in just a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reality now. There's a lot of money going into football. Maybe we should discuss that on the show sometime.
Yeah, but that's going to be old age football, not the young ones. It's too late to roll back the clock. So I've got to leave that. I couldn't make that money next time around. Maybe. I don't know. But I love this job. But let's look at the capital market and where we are. The CMC meeting.
Yes.
Most times we talk about the MPC meeting of the central bank. This looks like the flip side of it for bringing everybody together: the securities exchanges, those who are involved in market activities, whether broker, dealer, and Afrinvest will be there. Of course, we expect your CEO to also be in attendance. What do you think is key for the market at this point in time?
Well, I mean, looking at the mid-quarterly. And looking at the recent developments that we've seen in the market, especially in the second quarter, it's quite imperative that they have this meeting to discuss activities that have taken place in the market, the massive improvements that we've seen, and how it can be sustained going forward, better ways to improve professionalism in the market, financial literacy, as well as customer protection. And we believe this would be key items that would be discussed at the meeting.
What are the key issues for you along this line? The roadmap is okay, but if you look at the SEC under Muniru Gwazo over the last, I think it was getting to about 3 years now, about 2 years since he got into office. It's just less than 3 years. What do you think this roadmap that has been pushed ahead, do you think has achieved something, or is a roadmap that you think is on course, or should it be tinkered with?
Well, we know the greater part of the last 2 years have been very challenging for the capital market as a whole, with the exodus of foreign players from the market, and greatly affected activities in the market. But we've seen a lot of improvement recently. So if you look at some of the objectives of the 10-year roadmap, introduction of innovative products within the market, we've seen launch of and release of some new products. For instance, the savings bond, which was targeted at retail investors. And this is also tied to the fact that there's one of the major objectives is also to strengthen retail investors' participation in the market, especially domestic investors. And this has been largely successful. We've seen some new products come into the market. Also in terms of improving customer protection, as well as financial literacy. There have been workshops that have been organized to sort of improve individuals' knowledge about the products that they're launching, how they can key into these various opportunities. We know there have been a lot of other investment
alternative investments
that have come up, like the MMM and all, in which we saw a lot of individuals lose a lot of their funds. So one of the major reasons why we saw a lot of people go there was because it was majorly targeted at the retail end of the market. So we had a lot of people going in there. So in the market, which is regulated by the SEC, we've tried to see how they can key into this retail space raise secure investment opportunities.
It's amazing
for
how
investors.
folks like MMA make so much money that the formal market wasn't able to make.
Well, I mean, one of the things that possibly attracted people to it was the fact that ease of entry was relatively easy. Exits was more or less the same thing, and it was quite easy to understand. So that's one of the things that we've been trying to talk about with financial literacy, letting people have more knowledge about what's actually there for them to take advantage of, as opposed to going into alternative investments, which could be detrimental to
this
them.
time 10 years ago, there was a big party going on Custom Street, on Broad Street. Everybody were happy. This time 10 years ago, because the market was at one of its highest peak in about 50 years. We've come a long way, 10 years, since the market broke down in the first quarter, finally in the first quarter of 2008, to be precise. So, in terms of the retail investors, it looks like the issue of confidence is still out there. They're still tiptoeing, trying to dip one finger at a time into the market and see whether it's cold or it's really hot, boiling hot. They're looking at the market and they seem not to be so keen to embrace the market the way it was, even with this rally at the secondary window.
Well, you know, there's still that lingering fear from activities that took place in 2008, 2009, like you mentioned, where the market was bloated and crashed. We had a lot of investors lose a lot of their funds in the market. But over the years, we've seen general operations in the market improve. Corporate governance has been strengthened. There's increased transparency. There's also been the adoption of technological innovations to sort of improve efficiency within the market. So there's one of the major challenges has been trying to change investors' perception about the market. And I think the onus still remains on all